Just gotta make sure I'm ready for this shit. This video was a little bit of a difficult one for me to make. I was thinking about, should I just do my typical, POV style where I'm just driving along, I'm doing my thing, and I kind of do talk about it, or should I do it at home in sort of like this setting? But I think this will be a little bit more better. Now, you guys know me. I've been a Honda fan, a Honda fanboy, enthusiast, whatever you want to call it, for over 20 years now. I would say probably almost as long as I've been on this earth, I've been a Honda fan, or when I've been able to have like conceivable thought. Now, I have been through a whole lot. I've been through the time where Honda was considered to be in its golden age, its transition period, and into the modern day. And I could definitely tell you things have definitely changed. Now, in one of my previous videos, I had talked about the Honda Prelude. Like, it was really underwhelming. And for me, I didn't really have much of an opinion on it, but my main thing, or the main takeaway from that video was, it was just a really weird car. For me, it's really weird that they killed off the Civic Coupe due to poor sales, and then they reintroduced the Prelude, which was really strange to me because you guys should have just kept the Civic Coupe. It would have sold. It would have not sold in high numbers, but it still would have sold. And, we would have had a two-door SI. Now that we only have one variation of the SI, which is the sedan, it's kind of, but I'm not really going to complain about that. But what I'm here to talk about today is, I hate to break it to you guys, but I think I have seriously fallen out of love for Honda products, more specifically, at least the modern products. Now, what I'm going to get into is, I have already spoken about the Honda Prelude and stuff like that, so I'm not going to go too in depth about it, but it does highlight a problem that I have with Honda. And this actually has been a pretty common phenomenon that's been happening for decades. We can go back to the 1990s where Lexus had released the LS400. It was pretty much a very iconic luxury sedan. It changed the whole face of the market. It even gave Mercedes and BMW a little bit of a stirrup. They're like, whoa, how could this Japanese car company, which, everyone and their mom places, Japanese cars beneath German cars in terms of like their status, they actually came through, and that was really impressive. And Honda, being Toyota's main rival, because you know how the Evo and STI are, you have Toyota and Honda. That's sort of like the rivalry between the two of them. It was really crazy that I actually had to search up for that. But yes, the Acura Legend did come in sedan form. But the main reason why I bring up the Legend now is because they didn't build what the customers wanted. The customers at the time wanted excess. They wanted a rear-wheel drive luxury car with the V8, and Honda, just for some reason, they stuck to their front-wheel drive V6 kind of formula. I mean, it was fine. Like, there was a lot of character in the car. It was very strong. It was built really well, and it was an excellent car to drive, in my personal opinion. It's just that they didn't really deliver on what the customer wanted from them. And this sentiment will carry out throughout the years. Some years it didn't really do that, but now it's sort of becoming a thing now. A lot of people have talked about, it's only 200 horsepower and this car is probably going to cost like 50 grand, which is insane. Like, if this car ends up being more expensive than the Subaru, I can't even say Subaru properly, BRZ, or the Toyota GR86, that's gonna be pretty sad. And I'll be honest with you, what does it really have better over the BRZ other than it's got really good suspension, it's got the Type R system, but I don't even think that would be enough to persuade those old Honda enthusiasts back. But there's going to be people, they'll be like, oh, this is a cool two-door car, and it's stylish, it's new, it's fresh, and I'm gonna buy it because I'm sick and tired of looking the same. So those are the kind of people that are going to buy that car. But it's kind of weird that Honda brought this back as a coupe, and it kind of just left out the entire enthusiast base. And this is where I can say, this sort of just was the cherry on top, but this is where I have to say, like, what's going on with you, Honda? What's up? Like, why do you continuously release cars that none of us want. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't even want to give. I don't even want to give normal people the benefit of the doubt, because normal people are not buying this car. Normal people are going to buy the Honda Civic. They're going to buy the Honda HR-V, the CR-V, the Pilot, the Passport. They're pretty much more so into SUVs. But there's also people, they're like, the Civic is a very strong nameplate. It's a very strong brand. And, they can overlook the whole SUV thing and then be like, okay, you know what? I don't have an SUV, but I have a brand new car or a newer car that's reliable. It's cheap to maintain, and it's great on gas mileage, and most importantly, it does not break the bank. And this is actually the thing that I want to talk about. A lot of people haven't talked about it. I'm actually really surprised about it, but there are tons and tons of video clips. There's a lot of people who do reactionary content on YouTube about, insane car payments. You guys can search it up yourselves. But one that stood out to me was this one particular individual called into a dealership to see like how much his car was worth. And keep in mind, he had purchased his Honda Civic Hybrid Sport. I didn't even know the hybrid could come in a sport variant. I don't think it, whatever. That's besides the point. He got a loan for $60,000. So he legit paid all in 60 grand for a non-Type R, and it's not even an SI. It's really strange, and I don't know if anyone else has encountered this situation. I live in Canada, and I don't know if it's the same situation in the States, but the Acura Integra Type S, this vehicle is supposed to be placed a little bit higher than the Type R. Now that sounds crazy. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Whoa, hold on." No, the Type R is ranked higher because it's a higher performance car. No, what I mean is Acura is a premium brand, and usually their cars are supposed to be more expensive. The Acura Integra is more expensive than the Civic Si. There's a whole kerfuffle about that, but that's besides the point. The point is, it's crazy that you can get a more premium product cheaper for the lower class product, which makes no sense to me. Like, I've seen people getting Integras for 58, 55, around that mark. And then the Type R, 63, 72. I've even heard 80. Honda, what are you doing? I understand it's a special car and you guys make it in special volumes, and you guys have, mouths to feed, you guys have families to support, but that is crazy. And that is just so wild to me. Like, the price, there is a set price. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking out of my ass. There are set prices. There are base MSRP prices, but the chances of you getting that car MSRP is extraordinarily low. And that's a problem. Now, there's people, they'll do certain things. There's even actual services out there where people try to negotiate, because people don't like dealerships. Dealerships, all they're there to do is just make money off you. They're gonna try to milk as much as they can from you, and it just makes it a very daunting task. And that's why a lot of people don't do it, or they pay someone to negotiate for them. But let's go back to the 90s one more time. The Honda Civic Type R, especially the EK9 when it came out. I'm not sure the exact number, but I do believe it had an MSRP of, I think it was either 19 to 21 grand, and the Integra Type R was a little bit more expensive. But that car, it was a fun to drive car that was very sporty. It was razor sharp, it had its characteristics and stuff, but it was meant to go racing. You could drive it around the track and the car wouldn't break down or overheat. And that's what it was meant for. And it was very affordable. Let's say, if you were just coming out in the world, you just got your first real job, you got your finances in order and you wanted something fun, but you didn't want to go too crazy. That was the perfect option, but that's no longer the case. You might as well just get an Audi S3, even though it might be more expensive. It's just at that price point, I don't see it being worth that much. And a lot of people will argue, oh, it's a Type R, it's a special car, but that's not what Honda is about. Honda is about family. It's about, making sure everyone gets a slice of the pie. You don't have to be left out. Sports driving isn't only reserved for people who have larger bank accounts or just who are a little bit more wealthier than you. I know those two things meant the same thing. I don't know why I said that, but this is just a colossal failure. Like, the worst case, that wasn't even the worst case. The worst case that I've heard personally was, and I've mentioned this, I think I've mentioned it before. One of my friends' aunts, one of my very close friends, their aunts had purchased a I think it was a 2023 Honda Pilot, brand new, for 70 grand. I will repeat that, 70 grand. And she says the Type R was 5 grand cheaper. And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, literally, you literally have to be kidding me. Like, what is up with these prices? Like, this is just insane. I know Toyota was egregious with this, but Honda is is closely in a second place here. And this is where I have to say, like, the Civic Si, it's a great car at 30 grand, not 42 grand. And I wouldn't be surprised if some people paid 50 grand for the Civic Si brand new out the door. It's just crazy. And this is why, I even made a video telling you guys what my next daily driver would be. And I did have a Honda option, but it wasn't a brand new Honda. It was the 9th gen, and you guys already know my opinion on that car. It just isn't worth it. Like, what is going on? Like, Honda used to be fun, affordable, but the affordable is kind of not a thing. I know, the economy is not so hot right now and stuff, but the funny thing is, that's how Honda emerged. That's how those cars came appealing. When we had the gas crisis, those cars thrived. That's how those cars came about. So it's almost like they did the complete 360. They've become something what they're not. And now getting in a new Honda, not even a sporty Honda, just a regular Honda, could set you back $45,000 to $50,000, which is completely insane. Look at the Honda Accord. I was never an Accord fan, and I'll be honest with you guys, it's just not my style. I'm more of a, I like a little bit more of a sporty car, a little bit more nimble, better handling and stuff like that. The Accord is just not in my cards. It's a very nice and comfortable car, don't get me wrong, but look what they did to the Accord. It's only a 1.5 hybrid. Where did the other engine options go? The previous generation, they had the 1.5 liter, and they also had a 2 liter. Like, the Accord always had a bigger engine than the Civic. What is going on? Like, I don't know what is so wrong with, keeping the 2 liter. They kept it for the Civic. The Civic Hybrid is a 2 liter hybrid car. Why did they get rid of it? I don't know. Well, we'll see, or if Honda even gives a reason why, but I doubt they'll give a reason why. So as for modern Hondas, I have to say I've definitely fallen out of love with them. Like, I just don't see myself purchasing like one of the new platforms. They're just not in my line of sight. Like, if I was in the market for a car, I'll be honest, it will be better for me to get a WRX or a Mark 8 GTI, which, a lot of my friends are like, Josh, how the hell could you even get a GTI? Like, ew, the car is gonna break down, and like, da 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 da. Like, I know my friends are very, very, very cemented in their ways, and they're very loyal to the brand, but I'm sorry, the value proposition just isn't there. I don't know what Honda's doing. I really hope this isn't, continue on to something, but that's just my little rant of the day. And don't worry, guys, I'm gonna hold on to my 8th generation Civic Si for as long as I can, because that's got a good old K20, it's got VTEC, and it still revs to the moon in a somewhat modern car body, and it's got 4 doors, and it's doing great for me right now. I haven't had any issues, and hopefully I can get, a lot more out of it. So that car isn't going anywhere. But yeah, this has just been a little bit of a rant on my part.